Have you ever wondered why someone with a high income can still feel broke while someone earning less feels financially confident? It's not just about how much money you make, it's about how you feel about it. In today's video, we're diving into the invisible forces behind financial insecurity inspired by powerful insights from the Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. You'll discover 4 surprising profiles that explain why we spend, save, and stress the way we do, and how you can break free from the cycle. Welcome to From Book to Life, where we turn powerful ideas from books into practical tools for real life. Let's get into it. This is a story of 2 people. One is making more than ever, yet feels stuck in a cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. The other is earning less, yet has a growing sense of financial confidence. They both feel trapped, but one by debts and worries, the other by a lack of hope. Both are financially insecure, yet their stories couldn't be more different. In today's modern financial landscape, it's entirely possible and increasingly common to experience growing income alongside a growing sense of scarcity. This paradox defines the anatomy of financial insecurity in the 21st century. The contradiction between what we earn and how we feel about our financial safety reveals that money alone doesn't guarantee peace of mind. It's a psychological tension, not just a mathematical one. At the heart of this tension is a map of contradictions. Rising salaries met with rising anxiety, abundance entangled with fear, and progress clouded by a persistent sense of not enough. We are not just facing a budgeting issue. We're navigating emotional undercurrents driven by identity, trauma, comparison, and social validation. Before I continue, let me ask you something. Do you know someone who seems to have enough money, but you can tell they're not secure? Or maybe you see yourself in this situation. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts on what financial security means to you. Let's start a conversation. The anatomy of financial insecurity. This is where the magic happens. By breaking down financial insecurity into 4 distinct profiles, each driven by unique motivations and exhibiting specific behaviors, we gain a nuanced understanding of the root causes at play. Number 1, the compulsive consumer. Picture a high-earning professional who takes home a substantial salary, yet always finds themselves on the brink of financial disaster. Despite their income, they constantly struggle to make ends meet and surviving paycheck to paycheck. This is the compulsive consumer. Someone who seemingly has enough, yet always wants more. They earn well, but are caught in a debt spiral, spending beyond their means on a combination of necessary and unnecessary items. Driven by an internal need to spend, they turn to shopping as a form of relief or validation. The irony is that while they have the resources to meet their financial obligations, they choose not to, instead diverting their funds towards immediate gratification. This compulsive spending is not just about material desires, but often a maladaptive response to emotional needs that could stem from underlying mental health challenges or a lack of emotional support. For instance, this pattern might arise from an undiagnosed mood disorder like ADHD or dysmorphia, or it could be exacerbated by a history of neglect, leading to a reliance on shopping as a coping mechanism. Number 2, the anxious saver. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the anxious saver. This person lives in a constant state of fear, always worried about potential economic downturns and uncertain about the future. They earn enough, but are plagued by a deep-seated fear of losing what they have. As a result, they hoard their money, refusing to spend on anything beyond bare necessities. This behavior is not just about financial prudence, but a survival mechanism born out of fear. The anxious saver sees every expense as a threat to their financial security. They might be over-budgeting for retirement or holding on to money that could be better utilized elsewhere simply because they cannot bear the thought of needing it. This pattern often traces back to childhood experiences where scarcity was a prevalent theme. For example, witnessing financial struggles during the Great Recession or having first-hand experience of poverty can shape these behaviors. Number 3, the social comparator. Imagine someone who earns a decent wage but consistently spends beyond their means to keep up with societal expectations. This is a social comparator, an individual whose self-worth is deeply tied to their ability to keep up appearances. They buy new cars, expensive clothes, and luxury items to project an image of success and acceptance. But behind the facade, they are financially insecure. This behavior is not just about materialism or poor financial planning. It's about seeking validation through external markers of success. The social comparator judges their self-worth based on societal perceptions and often uses material possessions as a way to gain acceptance and admiration from others. This stems from a deep-rooted need to belong and can be triggered by a desire to impress peers or a need to compensate for perceived social shortcomings. A great example is the pressure many young adults face to emulate the lavish lifestyles depicted on social media, leading to a cycle of keeping up with appearances rather than focusing on long-term financial stability. And finally, number 4, the financially traumatized. This person earns enough to meet their needs, but their response is to build walls around money, avoiding conversations about finances, shunning help, and failing to plan for the future. This is the financially traumatized individual, someone whose past experiences have left them emotionally disconnected from money matters. The financially traumatized were likely raised in environments where money was either scarce or used as a source of conflict. As a result, they develop unhealthy coping mechanisms, turning to denial, avoidance, or rigid control to manage their emotions. This pattern often traces back to challenging childhood experiences such as parental divorce or bankruptcy. Witnessing financial turmoil at a young age can leave lasting psychological scars, shaping extreme behaviors in adulthood. Each of these profiles offers a glimpse into the complex psychology of financial insecurity. By shedding light on these patterns, we move beyond simplistic labels and start to understand the diverse ways in which financial challenges manifest. But knowledge alone isn't enough. We must translate understanding into action. Enter the invisible saving system. Like a silent guardian, it protects against impulsive decisions and market fluctuations, ensuring that your financial goals remain on track even when life throws curveballs. What if there was a way to disarm the trap of financial insecurity without relying on willpower or strict budgeting? Enter the invisible saving system, a modern approach to saving rooted in automation, invisibility, and layered protection. It's a game changer in a world where emotional resilience meets financial uncertainty. But before we dive into this groundbreaking concept, let's address the elephant in the room. Why is saving so hard? Saving is hard because it asks us to do things we're not naturally inclined to do. It requires patience, discipline, and foresight, qualities that society often overlooks and that most of us haven't been taught. Saving challenges our immediate impulses with long-term needs, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our choices. But the invisible saving system changes the game. By automating contributions to savings and investments and separating accounts in a way that creates a psychological barrier to access, it bypasses impulsive behavior. Think of it as a shield against emotional spending, safeguarding your financial future while you focus on living in the moment. But what sets this system apart is its emphasis on gradual progress. You start with a smaller amount, maybe $5, and as you get comfortable, increase it to $40, then $160, and eventually $320. The magic lies in the compounding effect. As your savings grow, so does your confidence, motivating you to save more and tackle larger financial goals like buying a house or starting a business. So how do you get started? First, determine your monthly savings capacity by tracking expenses and calculating your disposable income. Then automate your savings by setting up regular transfers to a separate account. To enhance protection, utilize separate investment and emergency funds, ensuring your money is allocated strategically and safely. Finally, review and adjust your plan quarterly, refining your financial course as your circumstances evolve. The beauty of this system is that it grows with you, adapting to your changing needs and priorities. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but a framework for building lifelong financial resilience. The key to disarming financial insecurity is reframing the narrative around money. We must replace outdated ideas with fresh perspectives that empower us to take control of our financial futures. We challenge the traditional view that equates money with happiness. While money can alleviate financial stress, true happiness stems from aligning our financial decisions with our values and aspirations. Money is a tool, not the end. We move away from defensive saving, the act of squirreling away money purely for the sake of having a safety net. Instead, we advocate for intentionality. Every dollar saved should have a clear purpose, whether it's for retirement, travel, or starting a business. This shift in mindset transforms saving from a burden into an investment in one's future self. We reframe scarcity as a catalyst for creativity. When resources are limited, we're forced to be resourceful, fostering innovation and a deep appreciation for what we have. This perspective shift can turn financial constraints into a breeding ground for ingenuity. We abandon the pursuit of status spending, the urge to flaunt wealth as a means of gaining social acceptance. Instead, we prioritize experiences and personal growth, recognizing that true fulfillment comes from within. By detaching our self-worth from material possessions, we free ourselves from the pressure of keeping up with societal expectations. Finally, we reject fear as a driving force in our financial lives. Fear of scarcity, of loss, or of making the wrong decision should not dictate our choices. Instead, we cultivate curiosity, asking questions, seeking knowledge, and embracing the unknown as opportunities for growth and learning. This shift from fear to curiosity empowers us to make conscious, intentional choices aligned with our values and aspirations. By adopting these reframes, we transform financial insecurity from a daunting challenge into a catalyst for growth, innovation, and self-discovery. Our relationship with money shifts from one of fear and scarcity to one of empowerment and abundance. And in that shift, we find the key to unlocking our financial futures. In conclusion, the financial rewiring matrix equips us with the tools to navigate this transformation. It guides us from understanding our emotional relationship with money to taking actionable steps towards financial wellness. Through income mapping, automatic allocation, and quarterly reviews, it provides a roadmap for integrating these principles into our daily lives. The matrix also introduces a groundbreaking concept: a financial allocation model that balances structure with flexibility. By dedicating 50% of income to needs, 30% to investments, 10% to personal fulfillment, and 10% to emotional security, it offers a practical framework for managing finances while prioritizing well-being and security. And finally, the abundance narrative serves as the emotional and philosophical anchor. It reminds us that money is a tool, not the end. When we stop chasing accumulation and begin pursuing alignment, we find freedom. When we understand that security is a state of mind, not a number, we gain hope. Now, let's bring this full circle. Remember the two characters at the start, the one stuck and the one hopeful. Their stories aren't just about financial numbers, but about emotional states. The first embodies the paralysis of financial insecurity, where a good income fails to deliver peace. The second reflects the empowerment offered by the abundance narrative. It's about shifting from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance and alignment. Your journey towards financial security begins with a single step: a small shift in perspective, a willingness to learn, and the courage to apply. Start by understanding your financial personality. Are you a compulsive consumer, an anxious saver, a social comparator, or financially traumatized? Identify your patterns, then leverage the financial rewiring matrix to take action. Map your income, allocate automatically, review quarterly, and balance your needs, investments, personal growth, and emotional security. Finally, embrace the abundance narrative. See money as a tool and prioritize experiences, personal growth, and alignment with your values. Remember, it's not about achieving a perfect financial state, but about designing a system that works for you, protects you from biases, and allows you to live with purpose and peace. Your financial story is yours to write. Will you embrace the abundance narrative and rewrite your financial future today? So what's the real lesson here? Financial insecurity isn't just about numbers, it's about mindset, emotions, and the stories we tell ourselves. Whether you're a compulsive spender, an anxious saver, or somewhere in between, the key to freedom lies in awareness and small, consistent action. If this video sparks something in you, don't let it end here. Reflect on your own financial patterns and ask yourself, what story do I want to rewrite? If you found value in this, hit the like button, drop a comment with your biggest insight, and subscribe to From Book to Life for more eye-opening lessons turned into real-life strategies. And if you're ready for your next breakthrough, check out one of our other videos. We've got plenty more wisdom to bring from page to practice. See you there.